Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here, and welcome to another fascinating view of a really cool, one of my favorite shifting and mind activation tools. Now, it's very important that you activate not necessarily the mind, but the brain. Now, the brain is a energetic and blood chemical box or bag. And you need to stimulate the different areas of the brain. If you think in just one type of reality all the time, you're not activating the important areas of your brain. So you have real problems, and this is why people have further problems and are affected by Alzheimer's and thinking problems, is because they're only in it. Even if you're mentally active, reading, looking at things, it's not the same as doing puzzles and other things. Now, this is a fantastic shifting tool, and I've talked about shifting tools, and I'm not sure people get it or not, but if you don't shift out of your common understanding of life you're at that moment, before doing any kind of psychic empowerment work or working with doing any rituals, working with radionic machines or other things, you are going to get limited effects. Plain and simple. So what we're trying to do is shift you when you have before doing anything. Very important. You're going to do some psychic practices. You're going to do other things. Well, make sure you shift. And that means you do something for a few seconds or a couple of minutes, then go and do psychic work. Try and work with cards, spin wheels, try and activate your remote viewing skills. Shift first. Now, one of the great tools to shift and to generally stimulate your actual brain functioning, meaning you're opening up energy paths as well as sending blood there, is the Cortex challenge. Well, this is the original one. There's 3 versions of this, and we'll have links to each one of these. This is a new game or tool, you could say. It's been out a few years, but this is something that is produced now. So that's what's so nice about this particular tool. I'm trying to find an actual copyright on here, but it is out and it is available, and there are links down below. It's been out 3 or 4 years, I think, but this is something that is produced all the time. That is really a great tool. So let's go through all the little fun things that this has and the different ways of it stimulating. It causes you to think, and you got to think outside, or not necessarily outside the box, but you got to think of things other than common, and even other than using your manifesting abilities, triggering your psychic power. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have to do all the things I told you to do. You have to fill up your senses. You have to turn off your vision many times. And if you're using vision, that vision has to trigger certain parts within your brain. So this is the original Cortex game. It's pretty cool. You can see the box with the brain on it. Show you even the inside of the box has a little brain in there, and on the sides here they have brains and puzzles and other things. Pretty cool. I always like the little touches. It shows that somebody cares about what they're doing and tries to make a cool product. I try and do this all the time myself. You do also get these stacks of cards, and there's different ones, and I'm going to go over that. You get the brain party game. This is the rules of the game. So it has it in many languages, so if you're not an English speaker, I believe it's French and Spanish here. And let's get over here to the rules of that. There's 90 cards, 74 test cards, 6 challenge cards, 10 raised touched cards, 6 brain jigsaw puzzles, 24 pieces. Aim of the game, all players to compete against each other using 8 different tests that exercise different brain functions. Now, you got to remember when you do something with your brain, that certain areas work on that. So, while you use your entire brain all the time, the fallacy that you only use 10% of your brain is stupid beyond belief, but that's what the scientist told us, Einstein. So it's the same old stuff that we get from the bogus boobs that want to tell us things. what's happening is your brain is using different parts of it all the time. And if there's a damaged part of the brain, it moves somewhere else. But there is certain areas that seem to control certain things. So I'm not going to get into how this is used. What we use it here as a shifting tool is you just take a card. So there's different types of cards here. You got maze cards. You've got color cards. Which word is written in its own color? Well, let's look at that. I mean, it's fascinating because I didn't quite get it when I tried it. And I thought it was quite interesting. Which one on this card, which is written in... So there's words like orange, but orange is not in orange. It's in yellow. So these are the type of things that I didn't... it took me a little while to look at this and figure it out. So, you have coordination. On the back of the card is a color for each hand and a number for each finger. And you're supposed to coordinate by putting that hand and finger in a particular place on your body. And you can find out how difficult that is. Of course, there's mazes. Just plain mazes. I love mazes. They're fun. Complicated, but it takes you concentration. So you do a maze like even this simple little maze here. That's a shift. Now you go on to do other things. Or even figuring this out. Well, once you figure that out, you're ready to go on to bigger and better practices. You've shifted. Same thing with any of these. Which one of these on here is duplicated? Where's there two of these? And we'll get into these cards as well as we do it. But that's what the card systems are about. Also, there are other ones. Frequency. Well, where's there more of? Which one is there more of here? Let me get a little closer. Reasoning. Which shape fits exactly into the main frame? So, touch challenge. What does this feel like? You know, like getting back to that all-important touch, which I always talk about. So, it's a simple game. You get these cards which you can experiment with. You get a little puzzle here of a brain that you're supposed to put together. As well. So it's really cool. The only drawback is this is a little expensive, but it does give you a lot. So that's what you're paying for. You're getting a lot of this actual texturized cards and so forth. Let's start off with these. Well, here's the texturized cards that I talk so much about in terms of being able to actually shift again. You close your eyes, use a blindfold. You always need to get yourself a sleep mask blindfold. They cost a couple of bucks to use things with. So you want to get out these texturized cards and then feel them. What is this feeling? This feels like rope. This feels like scale. I'm not sure. Is that leather? Feels like leather. Here is the texture of a strawberry. Those are stuck together here. Peach. Fuzz.